Hi, this is Mary from Made by Marney. I'm going to show you why you need to make multiple copies of my patterns if you want the 1/4 inch seam allowance to be on your paper pattern as you're sewing, which I find to be very, very helpful. My pattern comes all on one sheet already put together, so you can see what it's going to look like when it's all done and put together. So I'm going to make copies of this because this particular mouse pattern has an A segment, a B segment, and a C segment. That's 3 segments. I want to cut these pieces apart. Anytime there are red lines on my patterns, that's a segment that has to be paper pieced all by itself, and then the B has to be paper pieced all by itself, and then you're going to sew the A and the B back together again. So I made 2 copies of this because that's what it tells me to do on the bottom of the pattern. So for just trimming it up, I'm going to put those 2 copies together. I'm going to trim the directions off the bottom because I don't need that much paper. And along the side, I don't need that much. And now I'm going to take one of these at a time, and it will tell me on the bottom of my pattern how to cut this. And this particular pattern, I can get A and C out of my first copy, and I'll have to cut B out of my second copy. So I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch away from that red line and a 1/4 inch away from the red line for C. Now those 2 pieces are ready to go. And now for B, I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch from this side. And it really is helpful to have that extra paper along there, so when you're paper piecing, you will have plenty along the edges for sewing the pieces back together again at the end. So you can see that for a pattern, this particular pattern, it was helpful for me to make 2 copies, so when I cut, I can add that extra paper along the sides of the red lines. I hope that helps a little bit.